for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Touchdown.
Means maybe you guys will shut the hell up for a week.
Throw over the middle. It is complete to DK Metcalf. Into the end zone for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Touchdown. The Steelers remain atop the AFC North. Goff guns towards the end zone. Caught, tackled short of the end zone. There is a flag.
There is no score.
You can be upset all you want. Steelers walk away with victory.
The NFL has suspended DK Metcalf for 2 games for conduct detrimental.
This is a big deal. DK would be the answer against man coverage. If he's not there, the question becomes, who is that? Happy holidays and Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome to First Take. I'm Courtney Cronin here with Marcus Spears, Jeff Saturday, Joe Fortenbaugh, and Kendrick Perkins. We'll be here in a bit.
Good. You looking good.
Look at there.
I didn't get the Christmas sweater, Mom.
Corey, you in the
tomorrow? I got my festivities.
Yeah, you in it. You in it. Let's get it. The gold buttons hit.
Yes, thank you. All right, let's start with some big news out of the NFL. Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf going to miss the remainder of the regular season after his 2-game suspension was upheld on appeal yesterday. The suspension was a result of Metcalf shoving a fan during Sunday's game in Detroit, and it's going to cost him over $500,000 in salary and void $45 million in future guaranteed money. For the upheld suspension, Mike Tomlin spoke to the media about the incident. Take a listen.
He did explain to me why he did what he did, and I certainly don't condone the behavior, but I support DK.
From a football perspective, what do you lose if DK is not available specifically this week?
One man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. You can waste a lot of time pining for those that you don't have. As a leader, I think it's my job to work and prepare those that I do have.
The Steelers' final 2 games are against Cleveland and the Ravens. Right now, ESPN Analytics gives Pittsburgh a 93% chance to win the AFC North. The Steelers could clinch the division this week with a win against the Browns or with a Baltimore loss. Swagu, should DK Metcalf's suspension have been upheld?
Absolutely, should be upheld. And listen, this is there can be 2 parts to a story, right? The fan is in the wrong, and obviously you would love to think that they would have some decorum, right, and not say particularly what was said, as we don't know. But for DK Metcalf to go over there and throw a punch at him, he must have said something pretty egregious, and I think it was history between both of these individuals as well. But DK understands. First of all, you can't go to the stands. That's number one. No matter what. Jeff, you and I have been in stadiums. People say the worst things to you when they on the sideline. Listen, y'all, I played in Philly for 8 years, right, where the sideline is right behind you. There were some things said that made me want to punch somebody in the face, but I didn't go over there, right?
I find that hard to believe as an Eagles fan.
Yes, right. And then, too, you have – it's not only the act. It's not only an NFL game where every camera angle going to catch you doing everything when your name is DK Metcalf, but it's also about the NFL. And let's not play, y'all. Like the shield. How long have we heard that? Right. Protect the shield. So even from a PR standpoint, from an optic standpoint, and arguably from the standpoint of when DK walks over, if you connect with this guy, and I think it's a prosecution process that's going to go on. He hired a lawyer. So it's just all bad all around. And you get it. It's the heightened emotions of a football game. You talk about how these guys react and respond when this is our place of employment. Nobody else pretty much has to deal with somebody talking to you or critiquing you. But ultimately, DK knows better. And the suspension, honestly, y'all, look, I know it's $500,000 plus, but 2 games to me was like, whew, because I was thinking it was going to be a fine for more money. And Jeff,
I'm surprised.
Because of a punch thrown by you to a fan on the sideline during the NFL football game. I was like, 2? Okay. Because I thought it could have been more.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. We thought it was going to be 1 less, potentially.
I thought it was going to shrink. Like, I was surprised they held it up. Typically, for even the stuff that happens between player to player, post-game, during games, all those kind of things, kind of the precedent was set at 1, and I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, you don't ever walk to that was the most egregious error besides the punch was walking over, right? Like you never get that close. You just let it be. You tell your team security guy, hey, man, like whatever we got to do right here, let's get this fixed, get this clown, whatever it is, and move on. And the whole litigious society, the guy's going to, whatever. Like it's ridiculous all the way around. The NFL is going to protect itself. I understand that. But I did think they were going to reduce it down to one game. And you know, you're talking about $500,000 was a substantial amount of money already. But the voids of his guaranteed money being almost $50 million, which is, good gracious. Like, this whole thing has, and really it could all have been avoidable. And so you have to, if you're DK, bad decision, shouldn't have done it. I did think the league, I would have been completely content with a one-game suspension. Obviously, they went against what I thought and stuck it with 2.
Yeah, Joe, it feels like the league's trying to make an example out of DK Metcalf for this. Do you think they should have upheld it the way that they did, though? I mean, 2 games, we know what's on the line here for the playoffs and what this team's trying to do, but that's a significant amount of time.
There's 2 components to this. There's the football component, and then there's the entertainment/TV component. What do they say when it comes to TV? Win the mom, and you win the household. Right. To bring in a WWE analogy, there's a reason you see a lot less blood in WWE nowadays, because the moms don't want their children watching that. The NFL wants to spread its wings as far as it can to get as many people watching as possible. It's why we don't get the Who for the halftime show anymore. We get people that relate to a younger audience that might not necessarily be watching the game. When something like that happens, it looks horrible. The optics are horrible. Whatever's said from the stands, whatever happens with the player, it looks horrible for everyone involved. So the message needs to be sent. If the fan is out of line, I have no idea what happened there. But if you have the evidence that he is, you ban him forever. Yeah. And if the player goes over and does something like that, justified or not, you have to come down hard to send a message to everybody else. Yeah. Fair or not, the message has to be very clear that if a mom and a family wants to come to a football game, you don't have to live in fear that someone might be throwing a punch and you might be getting caught in the process.
But the reality is, when you in entertainment, y'all know what this is about. Like, does the NFL want to suspend DK Metcalf? Hell no. Right. He's one of the faces of the league. Right. It's a team that's ascending. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, all of these things going on. That's great for the NFL. Yeah. It's PR, though. Yeah. Like, 100%. We in television. We've been working in TV long enough to know that if something go down, you go and you talk to the bosses and they like, hey, man, we don't want you to be off air. Right. The ratings are amazing. Right. You do a phenomenal show. Right. But from the standpoint of how the public is going to view this, we got to make a decision. Yeah. And I don't like living in this fantasy land that the NFL didn't do that because of that. Right? Sure. Like, you could find DK. If I told you, I'm going to throw one punch at a dude, and my place of employment is going to find me $500,000, you'd say that's enough. Right. That's enough. That's enough of a punishment for you and to learn your lesson. Everybody in the world. Everybody in the world. But from a public relations standpoint and what the league wants to portray to everybody and keep people engaged, a 2-game suspension. That's why I said, Court and Jeff, I thought it would be more because of that, not because of. Oh, I'm with you. Yeah.
Well, if you see this, if you 2 playing see this happen, the next time someone's yelling at you, you're thinking of this. You're thinking $500K, 2 games, no matter what's said. Listen,
I ain't going.
None of it's worth it.
Let me just tell you,
that's not going to deter.
You're not deterred at all, really?
No.
Okay, interesting.
It's always like whenever you get into like commissioner discipline, all this kind of stuff, everybody's like, oh, it's sort of. Let me tell you, man, it happens so real. No one is thinking about that. Like, in that moment, you're not thinking about DK Metcalf. You're not thinking. You don't sit there and go, I'm not going to walk over there because of DK. I wish we were that clearly focused. At that moment, I will not stand in the lie. I mean, it would not have you're not.
An interesting thing here, the Lions say that they're not going to discipline the fan. There won't be any further action. The NFL today said that they're still looking in and reviewing his behavior, so we should find out more about that. Obviously, we've not heard from DK yet. Still, 3 days into this, he's suspended
he shouldn't
now.
Anyway. What was he got to say? I wouldn't say nothing.
Let it blow over. Something will happen in the world that'll take our attention.
I'm going to get as little as I dang sure, DK, dang sure don't get on air saying nothing else, bro. Let that thing lie.
Let it ride.
Exactly. You don't got to explain nothing to nobody. You just sit tight. They've already suspended. It's over. Move on.
One thing I think Mike Tomlin said when we heard him there, he's talking about one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. So without DK Metcalf, Swagu, how big of a loss is this for Aaron Rodgers, and who is that next player to step up?
It's a huge loss because we were sitting here, 3 weeks ago, talking about them not making an explosive play in the football game. And then we see DK go downfield a couple of times, and it seemed like the kicks to get moving. And I know Gainwell has been playing well. I don't think it's going to be a receiver. I think it's going to be Gainwell. I think it's going to be the running game that we saw from Warren against the Detroit Lions. And look, Aaron is playing at a very high level right now. So ultimately, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to make up for DK Metcalf not being there.